Hi Libra, welcome to the channel and welcome to your June tarot reading. This reading is intended for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So let's get right into it. Okay. So jumping right out of the deck, we have the Star, the Hermit, the Page of Wands, the Three of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. So okay. So okay. This month is a lot about you finding freedom, finding your own personal freedom. I feel like a lot of you will naturally, as Libras, become very enveloped in your social networks and your social groups, and it's become inauthentic in the sense that you've grown out of a lot of these situations. You've grown out of a lot of these social groups and networks, and you're really wanting to move on and grow. Like you're growing in a profound way. You're really, it's like a sense of, maybe growing up, or maybe you're becoming more mature than your friend groups. You're just outgrowing them in a way. You're not fitting in anymore because you are becoming in tune with your authentic self. And this month is really asking you to move of your own accord. The Libras have this tendency to, like I said, envelop themselves in their social networks and their partnerships and their personal relationships. And while this is very important for you, and it's important for you to nurture certain connections, but it's also important for you to realize when you need to let go of certain connections, when connections just aren't authentic to who you are, when you're sacrificing too much of yourself. And it's important for you to learn to have that balance between being extremely social, being extremely giving of yourself, and when it's time to kind of go on your own path and pay attention to yourself, spend time with yourself, spend alone time. A lot of times Libras can become too enmeshed in their social life, and it causes them to neglect themselves. So this month you're really being asked to put yourself first, because you're finding, so this need to constantly externalize yourself and be, surrounded by lots of people and constantly involving yourself with other people, and over extending yourself in relationships, oftentimes it can cause you to lose yourself and diminish yourself. And this tendency to do this is really, it's a form of self-neglect. As much as we think we're helping these people, they need us to be there, but this tendency to overgive, it's actually a lack of boundaries. And this month, you're really being forced to look at what causes you to overextend yourself in social situations, what causes you to overextend yourself in relationships. Are you being taken advantage of? Or are you just simply neglecting yourself and, you know, constantly having the need to socialize? You don't want to sit at home alone. You just constantly have to be in contact with someone. Like you're on social media all the time, like whatever it is. This month, you're really being this tendency to overextend yourself, this tendency to constantly externalize your mind through your relationships is being brought to a focus, and you're being asked to reconnect with yourself and nurture yourself. And this is not always going to be easy. So we can see here, there can be some sadness, some deception. We can see here in the cards. Everything that happens during this time when it comes to your social connections is to show you who is not really your friend, not who is there to take that energy, where you're overextending yourself and they are just taking and not giving back to you. The any type of if you feel diminished in your relationships this month, if you're feeling drained, diminished by somebody, feeling like there's no reciprocity, yes, it's easy to want to engage in fighting, drama, whatever the case is. But this is really just a call for you to reconnect with yourself and build boundaries. Because a lot of the issues that you guys may be having in your social situations stem from, yes, I'm not, people around you can be just generally unsavory, but this ultimately stems from you neglecting your true self for so long and having that need to really get back to yourself and nurture yourself emotionally and remember what what you do and don't like. What do you actually want out of relationships? Are you being friends with everybody? Are you giving to everybody? Are you overextending yourself because, what are the reasons? Will you feel guilty if you don't? Do you feel like, is it a lack of, feeling like, oftentimes when people are over generous, it can stem from a feeling of like, we don't think we deserve it, so we ended up, if we come into abundance in any way, shape, or form, it just immediately we give it to other people because subconsciously we feel like we don't deserve it. So are you overextending yourself because you feel, because of a lack of self-worth in a sense? So this month is really going to, throw these kind of challenges your way, whether it be through friendship drama or just your own personal, when your own personal contemplation will show you, this will be shown to you, whether it's internal or external, how you've been overextending yourself. And even in your relationships that are very healthy and are positive, there's still this tendency to overextend ourselves and not let ourselves be put at the forefront, always be the mediator, always be, um, giving. Like you're always the friend to, you know, respond when somebody is in a crisis, but then nobody is there for you and things of that nature. So this month is really going to show you where these wounds are that cause you to overextend in this way. And you're going to have to, spend some time alone and really reconnect with yourself and nurture yourself emotionally. So if you find that your relationships are clashing at this time, or there's a lot of betrayal, sadness, you know, people, maybe somebody just putting too much authority on you. Like, you are naturally giving so much of yourself, but then there's people that come in and take advantage. You might find that you have been, maybe stuck under some kind of authority type where they are just taking advantage of you even more, or just when you're already overextending yourself, this person, um, whether it's a narcissistic person or some kind of authority in your life, they are, first of all, attracted to you because of this tendency to overextend yourself, because of this emotional wound that causes you to diminish yourself for the sake of others, to sacrifice your own needs for the sake of others. This person might be taking advantage of that with the King of Wands and the Six of Swords here. And when you're already feeling low because you're already feeling um, like you're overextending yourself in so many areas of your life when it comes to your social connections, this person is, making it worse. They're kicking you while you're down to the point that you just can't take it anymore. And this might be the trigger for you to retreat into that hermit mode and start to reconnect with yourself. So everything this month, whether it's an internal realization or some external circumstance that happens, because of your friendships, because of your workplace, whatever the case is, it's showing you that you need to take time for yourself. You need to start paying attention to these wounds and these tendencies you have to put everyone before yourself, to and really reconnect. I feel like whatever the circumstances where there is a situation that feels like it's domineering you and backing you into a wall, it's pushing you. There's this yearning for you to really get back to your authentic self and nurture yourself. It's almost like you've lost yourself in these situations. And the more that these situations encroach on you, the more you're going to feel this need for freedom and this need to break free. And that freedom is found by going within, by reconnecting to yourself and healing yourself emotionally, healing these wounds that these thought forms and these behaviors that you know have you in the tendency to overextend yourself. Now, once you get to that place where all these things start clicking and you're like, hey, I don't need to be putting up with this. I don't need to be involved in everyone's business. I don't need to be, you know, overextending myself. If I don't have the energy or the time to do something with someone or be there with somebody, then I just can't do it, and I have to nurture myself. And you have to put yourself as at the forefront now. You're healing this part of your ego, this Chiron and Aries, where you're so self-sacrificial, and it's time at a certain point you can't do it anymore. You have nothing else to give to people, and you have to come back to yourself. And so if there's this yearning for freedom, it's not going to be found in the external. It's going to be found by going within and reconnecting with yourself and healing yourself emotionally, realizing what your wounds are that cause you to feel like you have to overextend yourself in this way, put everyone else before you. And from there, you'll be able to put up these boundaries where you're able to say, I don't have that to give right now, or I don't have to give you anything, especially if you're in a situation where there is some authoritative person or a narcissistic person who is trying to take advantage of this. It's really a time to go within, reconnect to your authentic self, and set up those boundaries. Figure out what the thought forms are, that what happened, in the past or whatever, to make you feel like you have to extend yourself in this way. This Chiron and Aries, what is the wound that causes you to, you know, sacrifice your individual happiness for the sake of everyone else? Because sometimes that is a noble thing to do, like, and that is, part of, that is one aspect of being a Libra, but you also have to find balance, because you can't just exist as somebody, exist to serve everybody, or you can't give from an empty cup, I guess, so to speak. So you have to have a strong knowledge of self and a strong identity within yourself, to a strong place of authenticity to come from, and then you will be able to help people in a much more effective way. So when you reconnect with yourself and you start to put up these boundaries, it can be sad. You can lose some people here, but it's important to remember that, you know, the people that walk away because you put boundaries up are people who actually don't care for you. They don't, they were only there to benefit from you, right? So let those people walk away and let those people be mad, because this month is about getting back to yourself. Getting back to yourself, nurturing yourself, and you will find your authentic friendships. And when you know those authentic friendships, when you are in the process of healing your identity, healing your sense of self, and um, reconstructing your boundaries, you will have your close social network, and you will find your balance through the support of those in your life that you can truly trust. And you will know who you can truly trust when you find out what these wounds are, and you start to repair the boundaries, and you're able to set boundaries and enforce boundaries. And there is a letting go process that comes after that. But, and it's not easy. It's not easy to watch things, to have to let go of things, especially for the sake of, when you're the one that's changing, and um, the others aren't. And, you know, there, you might want to hold on to things, that the people and the situations that are hurting you, but you have to let them go. And it's not always easy, and not everybody is going to take it well. There could be some drama, there could be some fighting, and there could be, people who want to fight you, people who want to, uh, people who benefit from you not being in touch with your authentic self, not people who benefit from you not having boundaries. They might put up a fight, and they might try to diminish you. That is why it is so important this month to really establish a deep connection with your authentic self, and begin to heal that sense of identity, begin to find that wound that Chiron and Aries has been trying to show you. And, and lean on the people who you can support and trust at this time. um, finding the balance, between your individual self and your partnerships is what will protect you. I don't know if protect is the right word, from these unsavory people that want to take advantage of you. Once you get in, once you figure out what the wounds are and you start to connect with yourself emotionally in that way, it'll be very easy for you to spot who the snakes are. But until then, it might be hard to see. And I feel that the snakes will come out full force once they see that you're letting go and you're not interested anymore and you're actually um, beginning to chase your freedom. And so, yes, please set those boundaries. Keep the people that you can trust close to you, the people that nurture this healing of your individual self is something that should be nurtured carefully. It's a new beginning for you in a sense, and there are people there that will really support you and protect you during this time and help nurture this transformation. And if you feel like you don't have any of these people in your life at this time, and that maybe a lot of people around you have been people that you've surrounded yourself out of a place of, out of a lack of, self-worth, or whatever the case is, and you feel like you have to maybe let go of everybody once these boundaries get put up, then you embracing your authentic self and nurturing um, your identity and healing these wounds surrounding your individuality, um, they will bring the right people into your life. They will bring people to you that feel like family, that can nurture you and protect you. And this is ultimately about getting back to yourself. And with this Seven of Swords here, I just feel it's very important for you guys to be spiritually vigilant, stay connected to your intuition, and because there are people see this Queen of Swords with the Seven of Swords behind. There are people who don't have your best interests at heart, and the more you come into your authentic self, the more it will upset them. Um, so once you heal those wounds, you will be able to spot these people very easily and come out of this on top. But please be spiritually vigilant, connected to your intuition, setting these boundaries. Though you might not be able to see the people that don't wish you well, you'll be able to feel it, and you'll be able to have these boundaries. And as well as when you have the friendships and the familial connections, whatever kind of social network partnerships you're creating here, when you have those connections, that will also be a great support system for you too. But in a way, it's important for you guys to kind of have eyes on the back of your head this month. I'm not trying to um, instill any paranoia, but when people have been benefiting from diminishing you for so long, or benefiting from you not being in a state of authentic power, then it doesn't, they don't always react the best when the boundaries start to get put up. I just really feel like I have to emphasize that, and really the best way around any type of manipulation, secrecy, any type of the seven of swords behavior that maybe you can't see, just keep being your authentic self. Just stay in touch with your individual sense of identity, and that will be like your north star during this period. And you will come out of this on top, and you will begin a new cycle, but it might take a bit to shake the negative relationships at this time. But remember that you are beginning a new cycle. You're kind of nurturing. When I think of like this page of wands, I really think of the Chiron and Aries, the wound of your individual sense of self, in relation to your partnerships. And I feel like this page of wands here is kind of like, this baby that needs to be nurtured as you reconnect with this sense of identity and heal these wounds. And it's very easy to be vulnerable at this time as well. So that's where the support group comes in. Okay, I'm going in circles. I just really want to emphasize that it's important for you to connect with your authentic self. That's how you're going to navigate any toxic behavior, and find the real from the fake at this time. All right, guys, that's what I have for you this month. Thank you for watching. If you would like a personal reading, I will link it in the description box. And I will see you next time.